Review copy provided by PlayStation.
Try to visualize the last thing you can remember before you came here.
I want to check it out over here.
In 2015, Until Dawn thrilled players with a survival horror adventure that put an emphasis on choosing your own fate. Even the smallest decisions could have fatal consequences, resulting in numerous outcomes to the story. Now, developer Supermassive Games takes us back 60 years before the events of Until Dawn in their PSVR prequel, The Inpatient.
Hello, you get out much? We're in the world-famous Blackwood Sanatorium and Hotel.
The story begins with the player character restrained in a chair as a doctor asks a series of cryptic questions that trigger forgotten memories. While the amnesia gimmick isn't original, it helps create a sense of mystery with sinister undertones. Not knowing who anyone is or why you're being interrogated is an unsettling introduction to Blackwood Sanatorium. Players intimately familiar with Until Dawn will feel less disjointed and may recognize subtle connections which are skillfully introduced and never feel forced. Despite these clever nods, the story never gains momentum, and the 3 to 4 hour trip ends up feeling disjointed and choppy, with abrupt transitions and poor pacing.
Good morning. Rise and shine.
The story isn't the only thing that feels choppy. The controls are the Inpatient's biggest enemy, and they frequently inhibit immersion. You can choose to either use Move controllers or a DualShock 4, both of which have pros and cons. While the Move controllers are ideal for analyzing objects, navigation is cumbersome, especially when simply trying to walk backwards or sideways. The DualShock fares much better while navigating the environment, but interacting with objects and even opening doors becomes tedious. The DualShock also uses motion controls, most notably for the flashlight, but trying to move, interact with objects, and aim the flashlight is consistently a struggle.
Come in. Come in. You have finally arrived.
The PSVR microphone can also be used to say one of 2 dialogue options during conversations, but the novelty quickly wears off. While the idea is meant to bring you further into the game, it can have the opposite effect because you can still only pick between 2 presented dialogue options, even if you're committed to playing the role.
I am worried that you are holding back. Try speaking with some emotion.
At certain points, the butterfly effect will change the narrative based on the decisions you make. These mostly revolve around binary choices during conversations with other patients and staff. However, what helped make these decisions more intense during Until Dawn were QuickTime events and likable characters. Making a split-second choice and then having to endure a challenging encounter that could result in a character's permanent death had high-stakes consequences. The Inpatient never reaches these heights, partly because of a lack of character development, but also because there's never a thrilling sense of victory.
No, this doesn't feel right.
While there are multiple paths for the story to take, the gameplay is largely linear. You can only interact with specific objects, and there aren't any puzzles, just dialogue choices with other characters. Ironically, however, the Inpatient is at its best when walking through these linear corridors. It's in these quieter moments that the atmosphere engulfs the senses without the troubling controls or lack of narrative development getting in the way. These scripted moments feel like an interactive carnival ride with striking art direction and superb audio amidst the chilling halls of Blackwood Sanatorium. On more than one occasion, the audio utilizes some horrifying tricks that will surely scare you to death. Once you finish, you're encouraged to go back and make different decisions, but without a strong investment in the characters, there's little motivation to do so. There are also hidden collectible memories that fill in parts of the backstory, but these likewise aren't interesting enough to be much of an incentive.
Mr. Bragg will start your treatment tomorrow.
The Inpatient feels half-baked. The story and mechanics never come together in a satisfying way. Despite moments of terrifying audio-visual design, the cumbersome controls and a lack of interesting characters make The Inpatient a chore to play through.
All right, lights out.
Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to see our other videos. And consider becoming a patron to help us make more.
Right this way.
Review copy provided by PlayStation.